Hey Internet, it's Yasu. Today we are checking out the animatics for the Troy Saga, since I've personally never seen any of them. And then I'm also going to be breaking down some cinematic techniques I see in them, because that's kind of my job. And there's probably enough people who talk about the song. So I want to bring attention to the amazing animators who have worked the butt off for the last 3 years on making animatics. But yeah, if you have any suggestions for the Cyclops Saga animatics that are like cinematic, let me know in the comments below. I don't want to milk Epic, but I still want to like talk about the beauty that is seeing it because it's such a great series. So yeah, let's hop into it. By Gigi. Yeah, looks pretty great. Let's check it out.
All right, my brothers, listen
Ooh,
closely.
that's pretty cool.
Tonight we make the Trojans pay. 10 years of war, they
Ooh,
killed us
ooh.
slowly.
So besides, the normal static shots with some inserts of the soldiers, this is a pretty cool shot. This is a cool shot because it's a close shot. It uses the soldiers on the sides to block Odysseus in for two reasons. One, to show that he's literally trapped in a horse. He's literally stuck in the Trojan horse. And another one to show that this whole situation is trapping him down, kind of a thing. He's stuck going to war he didn't want to go to. I mean, he'd rather be home with his son and wife. That's the beautiful. It's a simple shot, but beautiful. Then, of course, we have the light in the background here, which isn't entirely accurate because it's animation. They don't need to take light into account because they can do whatever they need. Because in theory, right, if this was accurate, this would be entirely shrouded in darkness, and this would be fairly accurate. It'd be a little bit more of a fall off, but either way, that's lighting's not important as much for this because it's animation and it's not, and it does need to be taken entirely into account. But the closed frame was entirely intentional.
Killed us slowly. But now we'll be the ones who slay.
Ooh,
Think
that's
of
pretty
your
sick.
wives and your children.
So that was a cool transition, right? Because it was following the movement of the torch up. So it uses a crossfade here to kind of show movement of the torch and the light. And then, of course, following the movement up, it's still the camera still pans up, and then the lights go out in the eyes to show. I'm guessing that he blows out the torch. It looks like
Think of your wives and your
we got
children.
some guys in front of the camera
Your
to show
families
like
wonder where you've
depth.
been. They're growing old and yet you're still here. Do what I say and you'll see them again.
One thing Gigi has been in a lot in this first sequence is a lot of cross cuts between the outside of the horse and the inside of the horse, kind of to juxtapose what's going on between the two of them. Like the outside is cold, it's blues, it's sad. And the inside, it's dark still, but it's got the nice warm, like yellow kind of juxtapose the outside. It stitches the two scenes into one and makes it a coherent like vibe. Because if this was just by itself, where they're scening, that'd make no sense. It's cross cutting between the two of them to give a vibe of what's going on.
Again. Yes, sir. Diomedes will lead the charge. Agamemnon will flank the guards. Menelaus
Oh,
will
that's a
fight on
sick
his
oak shot. Okay, hold on, let me go back up. Let me tell you what I mean by oak shot here. Basically, that means that the camera moves in an arc, obviously. So first it starts here, 3/4 on the left side, on the right side, and then as the camera moves, it's arcing around them to show movement. Now I have a front-facing shot while the guy he goes wha-bam and knocks down the guards, and then following his movement, if the camera follows him to a 3/4 on the right side, left side. I don't know. I'm not good with sides. But the guy opens the door. That's a sick shot.
through the gates to take the whole city at large. Teucer will shoot any ambush attacking. Little Ajax will stay back. Nestor, secure Helen and protect her. Neo, avenge your father, kill the.
That was a little weird. Hold on. Let me show you what I mean by that. Now that was a little interesting of a shot, right? Because so the guy was over here on this side, right? He shot his bow and arrow like that, and it went this way, which is fine. But in the next scene, the arrow went this way, which works in a sense that like carries the movement through. But one thing that it does is it breaks the 180 rule. basically what that means is that in a scene, right, you you want to keep everything on one side of this 180 line. So he was here, he shot it this way. The camera was down here, obviously, and he shot the arrow this way. However, in the next scene, the arrow came from this way. The arrow is going whomp, which is fine because the camera was still here, but it may draw some confusion going on with the audience because suddenly the arrow is coming from a different direction from where it was shot. I think Gigi did a good job of like following the movement while moving the camera. There's no camera, I get that. I'm gonna say that because that's how I think. Following the camera going like wow kind of a vibe and making it feel natural, but this could cause some confusion if it wasn't animated. If because suddenly the camera just suddenly the arrow's coming from the other side of the screen, which would feel weird. But it also helps in this scene to cause a bit of chaos, right? The whole thing's chaotic. You got all the guys down here going, "Grr, I'm angry," and the arrow is going crazy, right? It gives a feeling of unease, so that we, the audience, also feel trapped in this chaotic thing that's going on. It's not a bad shot. I think Gigi obviously knew what they were doing here. I trust them. They've done an amazing job. It just caught me a little off guard because yeah, if you look here, it goes that side and suddenly it's the other side. Not bad. And then of course the head down between the two of them to show that they're connected. Pretty sick. Ooh, a nice POV shot. That's pretty cool. Telemachus just spawned out of nowhere. That's also pretty cool. Woo! That's sick. Sorry. Telemachus spawning out of nowhere is pretty funny. No, ignore that. That's not important. That's not what I was freaking out about. It was that match cut that happened here. It's, again, not exactly match cut because it has that weird like zoom effect thing. But basically, what a match cut is that it's when two scenes have the same general vibe, the shapes of the characters match the other character, kind of a thing. So here, he has the exact same like body movement as he does in this scene here. And then, of course, we have some Rembrandt light because we have the funny little triangle under the one eye that's covered in darkness. This is like one of the most stereotypical things you see in Hollywood, in most films, honestly. So the light comes from one side. I have no clue where the light source is. Maybe the eyes of the horse. That's not important. Surprised that Gigi took the time to do that. Because again, lighting doesn't need to be consistent in animated forms. Like this. That's not how lights work, but it still looks good. That's all that matters. Ooh, a nice silhouette. And that arrow feels more normal because it's going left to right both times. Ooh, that was cool. I don't animate. That's not my field. But it's cool that the guy is animated on a different frame rate than Odysseus here. The soldier here, the vision of what's to come, he's animated on a separate frame rate to kind of show how they're not together. It's not real. It's not on the same animation frames as Odysseus. That's cool. And then, of course, the ellipse here, right? To not actually show someone getting slashed, but to cut away, have some sort of motion of what's happening, and then the reaction shot. That's called an ellipse.
Who was that?
Ooh, and some good diegetic with the bird in the background. Nice.
Of what is to come cannot be outrun, can only be dealt with right here and now.
Tell me how.
I don't think you're ready. A mission.
That was a tracking shot down the hall.
Kill someone's son.
That's sick.
Won't run, unlike anyone you have faced before.
Say no more. I know that I'm ready.
I don't think you're ready.
Now this is a sick shot because it's what we call a frame in a frame, right? So we have Odysseus being framed inside the frame of the entire background. However, it's cool that Gigi shows how he's breaking that frame, right? He's no longer being held back by the frame. Can be interpreted many ways. I'm going to say it as he is breaking the soldier mold, right? If he was entirely in the frame here, that'd keep him trapped, like in the soldier vibe, right? He has a goal, and the frame is keeping him aligned. But then you suddenly breaks it. Oh, look at that, a baby. That's pretty crazy. And to kind of like compare with Odysseus here, the baby, I forgot the name. I'm bad with names, so you're lucky I know Odysseus' name. The baby here is literally still framed. It's an infant. They have no morals. They're stuck to how they just are. So in this frame, the baby is literally in the cradle. It's not breaking the frame at all. It's like
Just an infant,
until Odysseus breaks that
it's just a
safety, that
boy.
frame.
What sort of imminent threat does he pose that I cannot avoid?
Is the son of none other than Troy's
Ooh,
very
that's
own
sick.
prince.
See how gods
Turn over
can make
to go
non-diegetic
from a boy
sound.
to an avenger.
Diegetic sound is when the sound is coming from the scene. It's something the character can't hear. And gods can break that mold because they're all powerful. And they can summon up sounds that don't need to be on the scene. And Gigi is doing the same thing here with the lighting. God Zeus here in this case is summoning lighting that shouldn't be happening. The whole scene's illuminated. There's no like shadows anywhere. He is illuminating the scene to a point where it's not diegetic anymore. It's now non-diegetic lighting.
One fumed with rage as you're consumed by age. If you don't end it now, you'll have
Ignore
no
that.
one left to save. You can say goodbye to.
That's not important. Ignore that lighting.
You can say goodbye to.
I could raise him as my own, or send him far away.
Sick spin shot. But normally, how you do this in real on a film set is you'd have a dolly, usually on track. This maybe a Fisher dolly. Either way, it's basically a camera on wheels. So you can like circle the person on camera. It takes a lot of people. It takes like, at least like 3 people to do it. That's not important. That's sick. That's so sick. Ooh, and to end it off, I want to talk about this shot. This one is Odysseus is now on a different thirds line. So for a lot of this animatic, Odysseus has been on the top third lines. Let's see if I can find a spot. For the most part, right? Odysseus is on this top third line for the most part. And now, suddenly in this scene here, where he is being where he's being brought to his knees, he's being shut down, he's now on the third line. He's no longer in control of the scene. While the bird here, who represents Zeus, the eagle, is on the third line where Odysseus was, and to kind of show that he's in control. This is also shown by the low angle looking up to show that Zeus is high. He's high and mighty. He's looking down on Odysseus. And then the lack of background here is cool because it draws your eyes to the center of the screen to what the action is. And the push into the eagle is pretty sick.
Please don't make me do this! Don't make me do this!
The blood on your hands is something you won't lose. All you can
Then another crossfade, getting rid of the god lighting to a more realistic lighting. Again, I have no clue what the source light this is supposed to be with this, but that's not important because again, it's animation. But I think it's cool how the lighting goes back to a more diegetic feeling here. And that's the end. Really sick. I love that. Gigi did amazing there. I don't know how much of like cam techniques that they know, but they used a lot of amazing things here. Going back to the rule of thirds is what it's called. When he is literally on the bottom corner third, which is crazy. You never see that frame there because it's such an awkward place. It feels empty. Because I think the point they're going for here is that the room feels empty. Odysseus feels empty in the spot. He doesn't know what to do. So that's beautiful. Brady's back on the third. Nice.
And I think back to the sun.
That's a good old fashioned match cut.
You're as old as he was when I left for war.
And another match cut. That's great, dude. I love the use of match cuts. I think it helps secure the story, especially between these like flashbacks. I think it helps like visualize what's going on more accurately.
Will these actions haunt my days? Every man I've slain is the price I pay. Endless pain. Close your eyes and spare yourself the view. How could I?
Ooh, a back-to-back POV shot is great. One of Odysseus and one of Baby. Heck yeah.
I hurt you. I'm just a man who's trying to go home, even
Ooh.
after all the
Got
years
some beautiful
away from what
colors.
I
Got some
know.
bouquet with the
I'm
lights.
just
Love it.
a man who's fighting for his life. Deep down, I would trade the world to see my son and wife.
Of course, is melting to show how like the Trojan War melted his bond with his family because he's been gone for who knows how long at this point. Sick. Sick, man.
Just a man.
With the vision of what this guy's going to become
But when
to show how his world can collapse. That's cool.
does a comet become a meteor? When does a
Ooh.
candle become a blaze? When does a man become a monster? When does a ripple become a tidal wave? When does the reason become the blame?
Wow, a lot just happened there. So first we had the visual like storytelling of two monsters that are grown in this case. We had the baby grown into a man who will kill all of Ithaca. And then we have Odysseus in the mirror becoming a monster. Both of them are grown at this point, but Odysseus can't doesn't want to see his. That's why like it kind of faded out because like it's what's happening either way, but he doesn't want to become it kind of a vibe. While the baby here, he can grow because it has no face. It has no like will to stop because it doesn't know what's happening. The prophecy of Zeus is happening whether he likes it or not. So that's going to keep growing no matter what. And then of course, we got the funny pareidolia here with the face in the leaves. Leaves? Branches. Vines. That's sick.
When does a man become a monster?
Ooh, that's cool. Ignoring the lighting here, I'm not, I'm gonna stop talking about lighting because it hurts my soul every time. I think it's cool that the moment that the soldiers come back, the diegetic sounds come back, the lighting also becomes more diegetic. The cold on the left side represents Odysseus' headspace where he is right now, while the men is represented by the nice warm lights, the torches outside, and they both meet in the middle, meet over the baby where the conflict is happening. That's beautiful. I love that low angle shot looking up towards the to Odysseus on the balcony. This is a beautiful shot. I hate it. It's terrifying. Once again, using the warm of the crew versus the cold of Odysseus' headspace with the baby. That's beautiful. There's no way it shows the baby dropping though. That'd be crazy.
I'm just a man.
Whoa, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. I basically use the audience imagination to figure out what's happening. I think it's pretty obvious what that was supposed to represent. Baby go bye bye. Ah, that was great. Gigi, you did amazing. Honestly, I love that. That was great. The next one is by one second. It's by Wolfy the Witch. We've seen their stuff and the canon stuff all the time. It looks great. I can't wait to see what they do here. Womp. Am I floating? Have I been floating this whole time? Let's get into this. Let's see what Wolfie has in store for full speed ahead. Once again, a closed frame with two boats and one, and I'm guessing Odysseus's. I mean, that's a beautiful like movement shot, honestly. Like following the movement of the paddles up to Odysseus. Wow, that's just great.
600 men, 600 men under my command, with only one goal in mind. Make it back alive to our homeland.
Some good use of
600
inserts to show the
miles,
homeland. Nice.
600 miles of open sea. But the problem's not the distance, it's what lies in between. And did they cause waiting?
Yeah. So far they use a lot of inserts in this one. It's a traveling song, right? You can't do too much in a traveling song, I feel like. But I want to point out something cool I saw now that I've watched the entire thing.
But the problem's not the distance, it's what
Oh man, wow, that looks familiar. Well, man, that looks familiar. Oh boy, I wonder what that eye means. Oh boy, I guess we'll find out. Oh man,
and did they cause waiting? My kingdom is waiting. Penelope's
a nice
waiting
tracking shot, obviously, of Odysseus.
for me.
Beautiful.
So for speed ahead.
It's a good use of the ships in the background to give some depth to the scene. I think that Eurycus walking up here with a head up to show, put Odysseus on the third line still, while having Eurycus above that because he's taller, I guess. I don't know. That's probably why.
600 men with big mouths to feed, and we run out of supplies to eat. First the war of whose source depleted.
That's kind of the opposite. That was a head down, basically. It was a tracking shot head down of the barrel. An insert, obviously, because it cuts away from the scene to give us context. Beautiful.
600 men, 600 reasons to take what we can. So, Captain, what's the plan? Captain, what's the plan?
Watch where the birds fly. They will lead us to land. There will hunt for food, my second in command. Now for speed
We're up, and away we go. We're up, and away we go.
Captain. Qualities.
Look! There in the distance, I see an island. I see a light that faintly glows. Maybe they're people lighting a fire. Maybe they'll share some food, who knows?
Something feels off here. I see fire, but there's no smoke.
I say we strike first. We don't have time to waste, so let's raid the place and.
No. Qualities gear up.
One thing that Wolfie's doing great here is they've been keeping that, what I mentioned earlier, that 180 line pretty consistent. So there's two scenes here. Let's split this in half. We had the Eurylochus and Odie scene, and we had the Eurylochus, sorry, the Polites and Odysseus scene. And then for the entirety of the Eurylochus and Odysseus scene, we had the camera here, the camera here, and the camera here, basically. With Odysseus here and Eurylochus here, kind of following that line. And the same could be, and then Polites line would be Odysseus and Polites here. With this would be the 180 line for Polites and Odysseus. This would be the one for Eurylochus and Odysseus. These are both I formation dialogues because they're in a line. It's that simple. By the way, for the Polites and Odysseus one, we have the front one and we have this one. You don't have one from Polites side because it's Polites. That's as simple as that. And then for the last one, it's an I again with three people. Basically, it's like this kind of thing. The dialogue, the 180 line is this way, and then we have the camera here and here to show all three of them. It's super, super easy. Brilliant. I'm happy that it's been consistent the entire time.
You win, I'll go ahead.
You and I'll go ahead.
We should try to find a way no one ends up dead.
We don't know what's ahead.
Give me
Still
till
following the 180 line
sunrise,
rule, but now we're
and
over
if we
Odysseus'
don't
shoulder.
return, then 600 men can make this whole place burn. Now for speed ahead.
Full speed ahead.
We're off and away we go.
A nice tracking shot of the spear in that case, following the movement of the spear to polities. And yeah, nice. And then ending off in an ultra wide, looking down on the boats to show the 600 men. It's cool because usually in film you start in the wide and you go in. This one looks like we started close up when you went to the wide. That's pretty sick. I'm ignoring the fact that we did just break the 180 here, the 180 line here, but it still looks pretty good. It just again continuity wise could confuse some viewers, but not a big deal. Beautiful, Wolfie, I love that. That was great. And now we're on Open Arms by Mircsy, it looks like. Sick, yeah, hell yeah. Can't wait to see what you bring to the table. We've had some pretty great animations. Let's see how you do. I'm looking forward to it.
You can relax, my friend.
Some great designs, I love
I
them.
can tell you're getting nervous, so do yourself a service and try to relax, my friend.
And find polities.
Think of all that we have been through. We'll survive what we get
Because this is a very
into.
intimate song. There's a lot of
I
two
know
shots
that
of the
you're
two of
tired
them.
war and bloodshed. Tell me, is this how we're supposed to live? Look at how you grip your sword, enough said. Why should we take when we could give?
Yippee!
Show a person that you trust them.
This is just
When you
silly.
stop and lower your guard, here we have a chance for some adjustment. Give it a try, it's not that hard, I'm telling you.
This has been fairly simple so far. It's beautiful. It's been very simple. A lot of two shots going from wides to mediums to close-ups. This would be a wide because it shows a lot of the background. It's pretty great, honestly. It's simple but great. I think what Mochi is standing out for me is that everything just seems more detailed, right? Like, while Wolfie had a lot more like following shots and more dialogue heavy things, so natural, and Gigi here had more like colors and more like dynamic frames. Mochi here has a lot more detail in these static shots. A static shot is a shot that doesn't have too much motion. Like instead of animating polities here running with focus on detail. I think it's pretty great.
It's amazing when you greet it with open arms. Whatever we face, we'll be fine if we're leading from the heart. No matter the place, we can light up the world. Here's how to start. Greet the world with open arms. Greet the world with open arms.
Stay back.
Oh my! Oh my! Oh my gosh! Followed again by an ellipse of the sword slash to kind of to show what's happening without actually animating the sword swinging, and then the reaction shot. Beautiful.
Stay back.
My friend, greet the world with open arms.
We're only here for food. 600 friends are waiting for us to show our faces.
I'm going to be honest. I did not imagine the Lotus Eaters looking this way. I'm going to be honest. I didn't have any ideas what they look like, but I did not think that they're those little guys. I think they're called Gwinians. I think the things that like Aeolus had. I'm guessing they're the kind of the same animal.
Stay back, I'm warning you. If we don't get back safely, my men will turn this place into blazes.
See? This life is amazing when you greet it with open arms. Whatever we face.
Yeah. Okay. So Mochi style definitely feels very like detailed static frames with movement implied, which is nice. That's I'm not expecting like full blown animation. Uh, I know the last two basically kind of gave me that, which is kind of I'm not being harsh at all. I love Mochi style. It's cool. I love it. It's a great it's such a cool thing that's going on.
We'll be fine if we're leading from the heart. No matter the place, so we can
Look
light
at him!
up the
Oh
world.
my
Here's
gosh!
how to start. Greet the world with open arms. Greet the world with open arms.
My friend, I wish that I could say that I agree.
Dude,
But look,
the
I
hands look
arranged for peace
amazing. Oh
below
my
me and filled
gosh.
with glowing seeds. It took me a while to notice just what kind of fruit they eat. It's a lotus, it controls your mind and never lets you free.
Look at the little guys
That's what
dancing.
we'd get with open arms.
Lotus eaters, I'd like to show.
Oh, that's sick. So that's called a rack focus, right? So the focus starts in the foreground at the lotus fruit, and then usually on lens you have a little like knob thing that you pull. Well, actually, if you're cool, you have someone else pull it too if you can afford that. Basically, you pull the focus to focus on something else. It's really cool, and if you can, and Merch did an amazing job here doing that. Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm a sucker for a good rack focus. Where you be, I'm not sick.
My friend, that kindness is brave. Could you tell me where there's other food to eat? A cave! You're saying there's a cave where we could feast.
Look at the
And where
guy,
we
dude.
sail
Oh
to
my
find this
gosh,
food-filled
it's so
cave.
cute.
Thank you. This life is amazing when you greet it with open arms. I see in your face there's so much guilt inside your heart. So why not replace it and light up the world? Here's how to start. Greet the
Oh,
world with
now they
open
have food.
arms.
Earlier they
Greet
couldn't,
the
but
world
now
with
they have food.
open arms.
You can relax, my friend.
That was pretty great, man, honestly. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Flash warning. What the? We truly find Odysseus. That's crazy. What was that? Cool. No, I love that. I think the simplicity helped a lot in this one. I think Muchi did great, I feel like, honestly. I love it. It is beautiful. And to wrap up the first saga, we got Warrior of the Mind. I'm looking forward to see what Muchi does here. Yippee apple!
Have you forgotten
Oh,
the
Athena,
lessons I
you're right.
taught you?
Athena!
Have you
Thank you,
forgotten
Odysseus.
to turn off your heart? This is not you.
I think the color shift is beautiful here. I think that's it. It really shows that they're on different, like, the quick thought time frame, obviously. I love that. That's great.
I see you changing from how I've designed you.
Ooh. First of all, I love the Athena design. It's so cool. And then Athena drawing the memories out of Odysseus and it's looking around and those being animated on different frames than Odysseus and Athena is so sick.
Have you forgotten your purpose? Let me remind
Mm.
you.
Damn, she just tossed him down. Oh my gosh.
Goddess of wisdom,
That's such a sick design.
master of war. My life has one mission: create the greatest warrior. I had a challenge, a test of skill, a magic.
That was such a cool pass through the frame transition. Using Athena to like transition from the sky down to the boar. Oh, that's sick.
Magic bar only the best could kill. One day a boy came for the thrill. A
It's pretty
boy.
cute. I love the designs of the three of them as kids. It's great. I think it tells the story more. This is a memory, not just what's going on, because obviously Jorge is seeing both of them still. So sometimes make it confusing to be like, oh yeah, wait, this is happening in the present. It's not. So I think having these kid designs helps a lot.
A boy whose mind rivaled the boar's own will.
Let's go!
Maybe one day he'll follow me and we'll make a greater tomorrow. Then they'll see I know he'll change the world 'cause he is a warrior of the mind.
Ooh, another good ellipse, dude. Basically, like instead of seeing Odysseus slay the boar, we see, yeah, at the start, and we cut away to something else to show like something happened, obviously, and then cut back to the reaction shot and to what happened. That's a beautiful way to avoid actually showing anything.
Maybe one day I'll reach him and we can build his skills as I teach him. If there's a problem, he'll have the answer. He is a warrior of the light.
Ooh, a sick color change.
Show yourself. I know you're watching me.
Kind of doing the same thing that Gigi did in Force of the Infant, where like the gods have their own lighting sense that aren't diegetic to go along with the non-diegetic vocals. Sick, man.
Show yourself. I can see you.
How can you see through my spell?
I was lying.
And then, of course, in this scene we have. I want to mute? No! No! In this scene, of course, we have Athena actually on the third line, while Odysseus is more in the middle, which is to kind of show the power dynamic. Sick. Sick.
I was lying, and you fell for my bluff. Aha.
Well done, enlighten me, what's your name?
You first, and maybe I'll do the same.
Nice try, but two can play this game.
Nah, don't be modest. I know you're a goddess, so let's be honest. You are Athena.
Ooh, that was a sick, like, movement shot, dude. Following the movement of Odysseus pointing, going down the forearm, then tilting up to Athena and getting that close up of Athena's mask breaking. Beautiful. Oh my gosh.
You are Athena. Badass in the arena. Unmatched, witty, and queen of the best strategies we've seen.
If you're
And the match cut of Athena stabbing, Odysseus stabbing, that is beautiful.
if you're looking for a mentor, I'll make sure your time's well spent.
Sounds like a plan. Goddess and man, best is the
We'll
friends.
see where it ends.
Okay.
Maybe one day they'll follow me and we'll make a greater tomorrow. Then they'll see I know we'll change the world, 'cause we are the warriors of the mind. Maybe one day we'll reach them and we can build their skills as we teach them. If there's a problem,
Argos? Oh my gosh. So in the Odyssey, obviously, Odysseus has a dog, which Roy didn't show, obviously, because we've seen the last saga. Either way, Odysseus had a dog named Argos who was alive when he left for Troy. And then when he came back, basically, the dog recognized Odysseus. He waited the entire time, and then well, he passed away after seeing his master again one last time. It's a beautiful side story, and it's crazy that Much included it here. That's great.
we'll have the answer. We are the warriors of the mind. I still intend to make sure you don't fall behind. Don't forget that you're a warrior of a very special kind. You are a warrior of the mind.
Then Odysseus, then again, Athena here on the third line, Odysseus on the bottom third line, more or less. It doesn't have to be exactly on those, but it's a good reference point for kind of like framing a shot to give headroom and to give that. I talk about it a lot because it's in my stories. I love using that. It's useful. I think it just visually tells a good story. Oh, it's great here. I love it. And then Athena spreading her wings to show that, like, to take more of the screen, to show that she's, like, in control. She's the one who needs the attention, kind of a thing. Beautiful. And then the apple, which started the whole Trojan War, to show who's the fairest, kind of a thing. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing about it's Iliad. Don't worry about it. It's not that important to this, but it's a cool detail for sure. Beautiful detail.
Don't disappoint me.
And I'm guessing a match cut. Nope. Oh, just flashing. I have a match cut to where Athena was. Not much. Then I truly found Odysseus. Was sick. I loved the way that Michi did that. That was such a simple but brilliant way that they did it to get the point across with the least amount of like actual movement. I love it. Ah, it's a very suspicious eye in the middle there. I wonder what that eye means in the four. I wonder what that eye means in the four. That's interesting. Yeah, yeah. And now it's time for the tier list. Doing it at the end, make the video feel more well-rounded kind of a thing, give a story. Either way, looking at this, I need to get rid of these two. I need to get rid of these. These do not belong here. I would not claim that any of the songs are D or F tier. I feel like they all are beautiful in their own ways, and honestly, just they're great. First of all, Horse and the Infant. I'd give that a solid A, honestly. I think it has a good story. I'm a sucker for songs that have like multiple vibes going throughout the whole thing, and this one fits that pretty well. You go from the horse to the battlefield to the infant. It's a beautiful story kind of a thing. I love it. Just a Man. It's gonna go. Oof, oof. I was gonna do S, but I feel like I'm gonna go A plus for now. I can move it up later, but I feel like I'm gonna keep it at A plus for now. It's great. It's emotional. It's got some good stuff. I love it. It's wonderful. I just don't think it's a S tier right now. Right now, Full Speed Ahead. It's a good song. I love it, but I'm gonna put it B tier. It's still going. It still goes high. It's still a B tier. I just feel like that it is a traveling song. Not much can happen there, and honestly, it's okay. Although whenever I'm driving to my work, having this going on, going down the highway is a straight vibe. Now, this one's a hot take. I'm gonna put Open Arms in C tier. I love it. It's great. I'm not gonna go out of the way to listen to the song. I just, it's not the type of vibes I like. I'm not a fan of just the soundscape that would happen in Open Arms, and it's just such a different vibe from the rest of the Troy Saga that I don't know. It always feels out of place when I'm listening to it. But it's not a bad song by any definition. And last but not least, Warrior of the Mind. I think this is obviously an A. Tegan Early does an amazing job singing. Her voice is spectacular. It's great, honestly. For the Troy Saga, I'm happy how this looks. Let's get back to the ending, I guess. And thanks for watching, obviously. Like as it said on screen, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next one. Good luck, Godspeed, and good night.